Here we go, guys. Here we go. The grand finals of season 2 of the Maestros of the game, live from Paris, France, on the 27th of June. Bottom left side, the man who needs to win a best of 7 and a best of 3 to crown himself the champ of this tournament. It's herO. And in the top right side, we are looking at the main base of the man described by Clem as the closest thing to perfect. Representing BASILISK, it is Serral. I don't have any of those, Jeff, but it's a pretty decent suggestion. Unfortunately, we don't have it. Two worlds collide, all of it and then some. Grand finals, we have been live for 10 hours and 3 minutes in an incredibly hot and humid day over here in the Netherlands, but after having some food, I feel pretty good. I am ready for all the drama, hopefully a couple of late games. herO is obviously the GOAT. herO is the most successful player in the year 2026. There really is just no taking that away from him. He has won the Thunderfire All-Star Invitational earlier this year in Hangzhou. That was potentially the most hyped tournament we've had up to this point in 2026. And on his route to becoming the champion in that event, herO did play against herO. And back then, herO won 3-0. That was basically on this version. I don't think anything has really changed. After that, though, herO did set the record straight once or twice. Learned from those mistakes. He was really surprised in that series. He mentioned it a few times in interviews and whatnot. Yeah, that was on the old patch, but this is also the old patch. Basically, what happened in that best of 5 back then is that herO prepared like tens, if not hundreds of games for herO doing Blinkstalker stuff, Oracle into Blink, different kind of timings, and herO just didn't play Blink. herO played Oracle into a Zellal charge. And this kind of caught herO off guard, surprised him a little, and by the time he had a good read on what herO was doing, the series was over. But that was then, and this is now, a couple of months later. It's in Paris. herO has looked good as ever. Looked really strong earlier in his series against Maro. Of course, herO looked fantastic too. 4-0 classic, 4-1 Maro is sick to get here. It should be a good finals. Better be a good finals. Today has been quite good, and I definitely think a couple of these Maro versus herO games were really freaking close and competitive. But I'm hoping for the absolute drama. The drama that we saw early this year in January was what made that tournament so special. It's obviously the crazy games that we had. And how unpredictable they played out. Adapt in the main base. Okay, Zergling actually prevented that drone from becoming an Evo chamber. So herO gets a kill. To get this far in this tournament, guys, this obviously started online a long time ago. herO won a group in which he played against Beyond and Rogue. Won both of those series in the bracket. herO took down Shin 3-2. Lost to herO, but then dropped to the lower bracket. Defeated Clem, the reigning defending champ, after season 1 of the Maestros of the game. Meanwhile, herO only did it so far in season 2 of Maestros of the game was win. The man went 5-0 in his group stage, 2-0 against Percival, 3-0 over Showtime. Went 3-1 in the first round of the playoffs against Rogue, went 3-1 against herO, and just went 4-0 against Maro. So herO has made it to the grand finals of the Maestros of the game season 2 by only dropping 2 maps. Obviously did not lose the series. Has dropped 3 maps in 4 best of 5s and 1 best of 3. The man is quite good at the video game. herO fires up his main base. It's going to be a lair. So far, herO doing nothing too surprising, except perhaps the 3rd Oracle. I think that's the one thing that we can talk about. Maro versus herO was the opening match of the day. That's why that's still the stream title. But sure, I can update the stream title, but normally we don't really do that. We just kind of keep the stream title as it goes, and then people can tune in whenever they want. They can spoil it themselves, not spoil it themselves. Because if I put anyone who follows me on Twitch, if I would right now update the stream title, then it would spoiler the previous rounds, and maybe they want to watch it on a different day, and that's why I don't do that. So it is on purpose. Triple Oracle activates Pulsar Beam. Gets 4 drones. Has to be very, very, very cautious here. Obviously, Oracles are expensive. Serral's gonna drop the Hydralisk then. Went for an early Roach Warren, but hasn't really built a single Roach yet.
We meet our fate.
Clem lost to herO in the lower bracket. The last round before this event went offline, Clem lost to herO. And in the upper bracket, Clem lost in a very, very, very close series to MaRo. So MaRo knocked Clem to the lower bracket with a 3-2 victory, and then in the lower bracket, herO won a decisive best of 7 to determine that herO was going to Paris, and MaRo and Clem, oh, he's still going to Paris, just as a honorary VIP, and now as a guest commentator for the Grand Finals. RotterdaM the shade into the third base of serO, and that's 5 additional drones going down. serO has fired 7 swarm hosts up. I'm definitely surprised to see this, guys. That is not what I was expecting game 1. I've seen it before on the Verdant Temple. If there is one map where maybe serO was going to play swarm host, it'd be this, or perhaps on Sanctuary the 3rd. I think they do it sometimes as well, but a little bit surprising. serO playing Swarm Host, a Roach, maybe some Hydras here in game 1. Did we have a Hydralisk then? Did he cancel it? He cancelled the Hydra then, sorry guys, still food coma. 10-hour stream, it's very hot over here, so we cancelled the Hydra then. And we are gonna play a Roach Swarm Host. That's kinda cool. Doesn't Clem live near Paris? For the longest time I always thought that Clem lived near Paris, but Clem lives all the way in the bottom of France, so no. I am probably a lot closer to Paris than Clem is. It'll take Clem a little bit longer to make it to Paris than it will take me to get to Paris. It's a good scout obviously for herO. herO has to be careful that he doesn't lose too many important units or an important building against these Locusts. Locusts are for free. They're going to work on a cannon. They're going to work on a lot of probes. Oh my goodness, there's so many dead probes. Despite the fact that it felt like herO was somewhat ready, it turns out that herO is not all that ready. And it's 12 probes going down. And a bunch of storms being used as well. Man, this looks really good for serO. We sure this is on the previous version of Starcraft 2, guys? That's bad news for herO as well, as one of the 4 oracles flies over the queens. The supplies can be a tiny bit deceiving when it's a Roach Swarm host, but if there is such a big lead, well, there is nothing deceiving about that. Locusts surround the arc. Well, okay, that's a really good defense actually by herO. Thought that herO was going to lose a little bit more, and herO realizes that he cannot just defend. He needs to counterattack as well, so he drops the storm. We've got a Zealot going ham as well on drones and then eventually Roaches. This went so much better for herO. It looked really bad before that second wave of Locust. They actually did a really good job against. serO probably regretting not gunning down those High Templars or not going like a little bit deeper with the Locust. Trying to kill that Archon didn't really work out. 65 workers against 65 workers, like this is something that's incredibly difficult to deal with. If you're playing Roach, Ravager, Queen Swarm host, you don't want to deal with Zealot counterattacks. That's the last thing that serO ever wants to deal with. I can guarantee you that most of these Zealot counterattacks are going to be very, very successful. serO has all out focus obviously on the aggression, because he doesn't want this game to go on for another 5 minutes. That's not the point. If I was herO, I would actually finish the hatchery rather than starting to battle this many Roaches. It does buy him some time, right? Obviously, serO's going to be forced to pay attention to actually micro correctly. Zealots finish off the hatchery. And that means that serO is now a 3-base Zerg. Is he a 3-base Zerg with a big army supply advantage? Yes. But is that a bit deceiving? Still yes. Good storms, really good storms. As serO is actually going to retreat through those storms. I'm starting to become a bit of a herO believer here, guys. herO's army is starting to look a lot bigger and a lot better than it did a little while ago. Another wave of Locust is going to hit this base at the 9 o'clock position on the Verdant Temple. And if a wave of Locust is going to crash, but herO gets on top of every single Swarmhost. So Serral gets the base, herO gets all the Swarmhost. herO does not really need to make this attack, and he's eating a lot of corrosive vials. I feel like herO is doing something that is very questionable. Storm is good. With the next set of Zealot Warpins, it's good. He just killed all the Swarmhost. He wants to make sure that he doesn't get kited, but so far herO seems to be very, very, very confident that this is the move. He's got 2 Archons left. He's got 3 Immortals. Doesn't have to be like this, but herO probably feels that after losing the 3rd base that he is in jeopardy and he needs to make something magical happen. But Serral on creep shows us how powerful Roaches and Ravages with +2 missile attacks can be. Was this necessary, herO? Losing the base is obviously... It's scary, guys. That's 400 minerals, and that's going to significantly hurt your economy for a little while. But herO had a really big tech advantage. Serral didn't have a Lurker Den yet. Serral didn't have a Great Aspire, didn't have an Ultralisk Cavern. He just killed all the Swarmhost. Was it really needed to attack into a 3-base Zerg that's playing Roach Ravages Swarmhost like that? The High Templars are very, very exposed. The Immortals are great against Roaches, but not in these numbers. A fantastic hold by Serral in the end, but I'm almost a bit sad to see that herO threw his army away the way that he did. True. Mr. Milk 420. True, but... I think this is it now, man. You don't replace an army of that many Archons and a couple of Immortals like that. All that herO has left is a few High Templars with Storm. 22 probes have gone down. He does have a War Prism in the main base of Serral on the other side of the map, but a few Zealots are not going to turn this game around. Right after he got such a good jump on all the Swarmhost. It's a good Storm, but we have thought in the chat. And then we can quote Mr. Bitter as well. These storms are a day late and $1 short. So Stoned Eye, it's something that is part of this mod. This tournament is played on a special mod. herO feels he's just too far behind, and obviously he is. Down over 100 supply, waves the white flag, GG gets called, Serral 1, herO 0. But yeah, the red on power portrait that you guys see is just something that is part of the new mod that we're playing on. This mod was just developed a couple of days ago. I've seen it on other mods as well, to be fair. It just goes to show whenever a building is on powered, like there is nothing else to it. Just part of this observer interface. One other thing that's very different is that over here on the left side, you guys can sometimes see 1 worker going down. Obviously in the past it was always 2 or more that would trigger that icon. On this mod, a single worker does it. You guys can also see the little chrono boost symbol on the top left side. You can see what herO is chrono boosting. Some of these guys have enjoyed the McChicken, just like I have. Or is that not what you mean? Game 2 of the Grand Final, Season 2 of the Maestros of the game. We have been watching all of it. Obviously the online portion was a couple of weeks ago. The qualifiers were fun. The group stage was good. The bracket was fantastic. And let's hope we have an insanely good Grand Finals as well. Top left side, I felt there was an opportunity for him in Game 1. It looked dicey, then it looked quite good. Unfortunately, could not keep it together. It's our Korean Protoss, the most successful player of 2026. It is herO. The bottom right side of 10,000 feet, we are looking at the main base of the man who is looking for another science victory. I would say the first of many, but we've already had so many. Definitely not the first. 1-0 lead in the Grand Finals. Representing Basilisk, it is Serral. Thank you to the Halo Legend. I appreciate it, mate. Much love. Glad you're enjoying the show. Been a fun day. I do really hope, guys, that we have an epic Grand Final here. I want some back and forth drama. The Wolf Cup continues in 50 minutes, and I really don't want to be done before that starts. I want it to go on for at least an hour and a half. Of course, on this channel, we're always rooting for Basilisk. I mean, we are a part of Basilisk, but I'm also always rooting for good Starcraft. So I really hope that herO puts up one hell of a fight. Maybe even wins the first series, and then in the end, serral can lift the trophy. My desk is a mess, actually. After this game, I'm gonna clean up my desk very quickly. It's very unlike me. I look like Todd over here. I've visited enough of Todd's apartments to know that he keeps a very messy desk. Not me! Clean AF. Oh, wait, what? First game is very late? I thought it was starting at 9. Starting at 11? Holy smokes. That's wild. Some days I felt like the second match was starting on 11. Ah, okay. So we need a grand finals that is going to last 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'd have total peace with that. Thank you to Tong. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you for the second month. This tournament, at least, well, all of this tournament was played on the old patch. This game is live, but it's played on a modified version. As herO moved out with his Stalker, guys, gets a very early Overlord kill. That's actually pretty impactful, because that Overlord is important for serral to give himself a bit of a heads up to know which direction the oracles are coming from. You guys can now spot, by the way, this little Chrono Boost symbol on the top left side. But that's a great snipe by herO, getting that Overlord early. A lot of Zerg players take this forward base. It's not that crazy. I feel like Lambo always takes it. Also because it kind of opens the door for some potential strong queen walks to the other side of the map. herO is going to use his Phoenix to lift the queen, and that means that the Oracle just flies by. The Spore not quite done yet. 4 drones. So we'll take it. And herO is actually switching things up a little bit with very quick Twilight Council resonating glaive afterwards. This could hit, guys. This could hit very, very hard and quick. Right now we have a minor bug on the production tab. Obviously it's not 4 and... Why is everything doubled? Sometimes the production tab bugs a little bit, but... serral does not have a Roach One yet, and I want to say does not have a Baneling Nest yet. He does have a Baneling Nest on the way now. herO goes for a very defensive shade early with the Adepts. I would love to follow the Adepts actually and see if they can get close. Seems like they didn't. We just shaded back into the middle of nowhere. Resonating Glaives is almost done. This is definitely the moment for herO. He's done a great job in taking away vision of serral on his own side of the map. Don't forget, that's what this one Phoenix was for. This is obviously vintage serral, always looking for that perfect scout. That scout actually works against serral. The only thing he saw were 2 Stalkers, and that is giving serral the confidence that he doesn't need units. He is just making drones. serral there getting a tiny bit unfortunate. Kudos to herO obviously for hiding everything. This is the first time serral knows it. serral needs Banelings immediately. Somebody's asking what Resonating Glaives does. It just makes the Adepts attack a whole lot quicker. They become way more powerful. He does not cancel that shade. herO wants all of it. Is going to get on top of the Queens. That is nowhere near enough Zerglings. herO needs more Adepts, by the way. This is really a picture perfect moment to get a few more Adepts into the center base. serral is morphing 6 Banelings, but that is the only thing that serral really has. herO, just do not lose all of your Adepts against 6 Banelings, please. You've got one job here. You've got one job. He's gonna recall. He's showing actually too much respect. He didn't have to do this yet, guys. herO could have done so much more here than what he's doing. herO has showed a little bit too much respect, but he's going to play it very safe. Recalls a couple of Adepts home. Still did a great amount of damage. Is now looking for follow-up damage. He's got Stalkers here. They don't have Blink yet, but obviously the Adepts are still in very large numbers to hopefully keep the Stalkers safe against these Zerglings, Hydras. Phoenix once more useful. Is going to lift one of the Queens. Couple slow Banelings are looking for connections, but they don't want to connect with Stalkers. They only want to connect with the Adepts. What will herO do with that Shade? Does he let it finish? Does he cancel it? Ah, the Observer is missing it. I don't want to see the Stalkers. I want to see the Adepts. Please, Observer, show me the Adepts. I don't know what happened with the Adepts. Okay. Whoever is this TKL? Protoss multitasking on full D. Yeah, thank you. He's like, hey, he lost all the Adepts. Yeah, I know. But I want to see how it happened. I guess links were already Banelings connected, but I wanted to see how it happened. It is very warm, yeah. But TKL is also a Protoss. Let's be honest. Funka would not have missed that. Koka would not have missed that. Clem would have never missed that. Clem would have split those Adepts himself somehow as the caster. Yeah, herO actually gave Serral a tiny chance right now. This game should have been Omega Giga over, but Serral still has a bit of an army. He is down in workers. So this game is still problematic, but herO needs to stop losing units right about now. Like, you can also warp in a couple of Adepts here, mate. Your Adepts would do totally fine against Ling, Hydra, no Baneling. Toka said that TKO his shorts broke, so he went to buy trousers. Nice forward blink here by herO. Could maybe go for a different shirt as well. Was that a kill or a cancel? I did not see the... that was a kill, right? herO's got no money in the bank either. Ay, ay, ay. 400 minerals down the drain. Serral down 15 workers, but with just a couple of Zerglings, he gets a kill on the Nexus in the top right side. herO probably still winning this game, but herO also already could have won this game. And it's incredibly dangerous to give Serral a lifeline. In any matchup, in any game, on any map, in any scenario. herO's gonna build a new Oracle. Maybe he's a tiny bit worried that Serral has a lurker then, and shows up with a couple of surprise lurkers. In ZVP, yeah, probably. I think in ZVZ and ZVT it'd be very different, obviously, but in ZVP, yes. And that's probably the reason why that patch is not being used right now. Serral's looking for a surround. herO has to be a tiny bit cautious because I don't think he has spotted it. He's going to see it now and he's going to try to jump on the smallest squad of units at the top side. Don't forget, we have a mothership somewhere. Where is that mothership? I don't know. We have a random force field going down. Man, that's a lot of Hydras. It's actually kind of difficult to beat these guys with just a couple of Stalkers. Hydras are tinier and they will have superior range there, where way more of them can fire at once. Of course, Stalkers can blink back, but the Hydra DPS compared to a Stalker DPS is pretty crazy. I am incredibly worried about this Grand Final if Serral wins this game, because Serral should not win this game ever. He kind of was bamboozled. He didn't expect the start. herO was able to find a lot of damage. Could have done way more damage. And Serral is playing this game from an incredibly awkward position. He's done a pretty good job, but here is herO with Big Mama. Can we drop a time warp? Yes. Overseer is a little bit late. We have a sentry in the mix, mostly gateway units. He really wants to kill the Overseer. herO somehow right-clicks on the Overseer with all of his Stalkers to force these Hydras to attack the mothership. It worked out. Very risky play. Sort of worked out though. Looking good for herO, but don't ask me how we got here. Yeah, Serral is running incredibly low on units at this point. The final few banelings should not be good enough. GG gets called. We have a finals. Serral won, herO won. That is only the third map that Serral has lost in this entire tournament. Yeah, it's very important that herO won this game for all of our entertainment. And as I said, of course, on this channel we always root for Yona, but this was not a game that herO was not supposed to win. Such a good start. The only map, I said the third map. I mean, it's the first map that Serral has lost today, but it's the third map he has lost overall, making it to the Grand Finals. 2-0 Shin, 3-0 Showtime, 3-1 Rogue, 3-1 herO, right? In the upper bracket. Let me double check, sorry. Serral's route to the Grand Finals was 2-0 Percival, not Shin, excuse me. 2-0 Percival, 3-0 Showtime, 3-1 Rogue, 3-1 herO, 4-0 Maru, and now 1-1 in the Grand Finals. Is it very hot? Yes. It is very, very hot over in Europe. It is extremely hot over in Paris. They have some air conditioning units there, but it is not enough to put up a good fight against the heat wave that is currently hitting them. Gets even hotter when we switch to the RotterdaM. Alright, game 3. You don't have to, guys. Stop it, you don't have to. Yeah, okay. That was for me, right? Top left side of Xhard. We're looking at the main base of the Finnish Phenom. The one and only, the great Jonas Otala. Come on, guys, make some noise for Jonas. Okay, thank you. The timing of that was good. It was completely accidental, but it made me happy. This is a very crazy map. I know we obviously on days like this have some people stop by that have not seen a crazy amount of Starcraft lately, or don't necessarily watch Starcraft on a daily basis. This map has a bit of everything. It has a crazy natural wide open gaps, mineral walls on both sides. It's a 4-player map. On top of that there are worker tubes as well. And Serral has gone for an early pull with an early extractor. Meanwhile herO on a 4-player map is going Nexus first. Now, I have a lot of experience playing Nexus first. He had Nexus first, no wall off. Against a, not an ultra early pull, but at least an early pull with an early gas. I'd be very worried if I was herO. At least herO scouts Serral second. What the hell is this? Where does herO find the courage to play like this? Nexus first and in-base gateways. It would feel like a link flood would be absolute hell to deal with, no? The Rodder PvP wall, indeed. I've seen a game of herO a while ago on that map we had in the previous map pool with the in-base expand. I forgot the name of it, because I always forget map names the moment they're out of the rotation. Where he did hold a 12 pool with an in-base gate. Whee! Probe is safe. It just seems like a link flood here is a total nightmare. You know what's funny is that Serral is having his links positioned at the bottom side of that mineral wall, but he doesn't even have to. The doors are wide open. And it's going to be so difficult for herO to deal with this. Serral's going to try to prevent the scout here. herO will see, well, fully saturated base, no gas mining. Link speed is done, guys. The links are here. I would have such a tough time dealing with this. But the good news is, like, you don't have to. The doors are open. The man hasn't walled off Yona. This is too complicated. There was no need for this. herO never walled off. He has something now, by the way, but a while ago he never walled off. We could have already been in. Oh, this is bad news for Serral. There are so... Yeah. Oh my god. Serral's probably wondering what on earth is happening over here. I am cooking 244 IQ. I'm trying to mine out some mineral patches. And herO's like, a wall? What is that? Do you need a wall against this stuff? I doubt it. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable what's happening. But what we do know now is that, yeah, herO has a 7-worker lead. Serral obviously wasted some very precious time in trying to get damage done with these Zerglings. And the Oracle is now almost out. Oh my goodness. This might be the first game ever. As Serral leaves, he feels he's too far behind. He knows that the target is done. This may be the first game ever where the average Redditor would have actually had way more success than Serral. Yeah, who shakes his head. He's like, oh, come on. Like, what is that? If you just run the links in immediately, you have a lot of time to be battling way before the adept count goes up and the Oracle is out. Honestly, Mango Marsh, that's a very good way of putting it. Imagine trying to break into some guy's house with a crowbar, but then you realize that the door was open all along. Sarah can't believe it. You cannot believe it. herO takes the 2-1 lead. Wow. I mean, Exide is a truly bizarre map. 4 players, mineral walls on both sides, a oddly designed natural worker tubes. Lambo says he is lucky that he spawned cross map so Yona didn't have an overlord to spot the leg of the wall. Crazy. I mean, just herO stuff, guys. At least we are getting one hell of a grand final, and that is of course what Starcraft 2 fans around the world are hoping for. Game 4 will be played on Blackrock. It is incredibly warm for the gamers over in Paris. It is incredibly warm for me over here in the Netherlands. Not quite as bad as it is for them, but I'm also struggling a little, so please shout at me if I miss stuff. Top right side, taking the 2-1 lead. It is T1's herO. Bottom left side of Blackrock, we are looking in the main base of the Finnish Phenom. Before starting this grand final, only lost 2 maps en route to the grand finals. Has now lost 2 out of the last 3 games. It's BASILISK Serral. They were, JK. I mean, the observer showed it very late. I was not in the game. I am sure that Serral would have paused if it was actually bugged. It's just that the adept killed the drone that was carrying the gas that was trying to mine out the mineral field. And those mineral patches don't have 5 or 10 minerals. They've got like 50 or something along those lines. It takes a little while. So, yes, you can normally carry a gas patch and then mine minerals and then go back into gas and mine minerals and go back into gas. And that is a way to open up a path with only a couple of workers. But Serral did not make enough trips to open the door there, and the adept killed the drone. I can guarantee you, mate, if there was actually a bug where Serral somehow could not use his drone, mine out the mineral patch, he would have paused, obviously, and it would have been like, hey, thing is broken. I'm aware of that T3. It's kind of the same thing here. A little bit of roti. herO going for a proxy Stargate. Makes it a little bit harder, obviously, for Serral to A, be 100% certain this is what it is, and B, proxy Stargate oracles hit a little quicker than oracles that we're being built in the main base. A filled link flood ruptured balls, but it's actually worth watching because it gave us some really funny moments. The Serral with his best DJ Khaled impression. Suffering from success. Cooking up something magical. Meanwhile, herO is just clicking some buttons, holding like a boss. It's like, oh, this is what it is. I mean, I hope, Jinja-sami, that I get my wish. herO wins the best of 7, and then we are level, and then it's a best of 3 for all the marbles, and then I hope Serral wins. herO has also won a lot of things in 2026, and obviously on this channel. We always want the Basilisk victories. That's kind of what pays the bills. But needless to say, I am on Team Science. 2 adepts shade in, kill 3 drones. We have an Oracle in the main base as well. Doesn't seem like the Oracle got anything done. 0 kills, and that's a lot of damage. Not just shields, but a little bit of hull damage. So Serral more than ready for this incredibly early Oracle. And herO probably a little bit disappointed about the outcome of the adepts being somewhat successful, but then often the adepts being successful will lead into opening the doors for the Oracle to find even more success. What server are they playing on? On the European server, mate. They're both in Europe. They're both in Paris. Of course, we're playing on Europe. Kidding, mate? I don't know. I was just helping. Triple Oracle. No Spore Crawler finish yet over at the third base for Serral. But he did have the 3 queens nearby. I wonder how that would have went though if herO would have pretended. Hey, show us the oracles, please. DKL! Please! Okay. Oracles did not manage to do anything. Did take damage. Did not get any kills. So Serral with a 7 worker lead. Meanwhile, herO going for a quick charge and has dropped the Templar Archives. Also has a Robo. Serral, as soon as he can, drops the Hydralisk then. 6 more drones on the way. Where is herO gonna take this? herO is a supply block, by the way, guys. Not quite yet, but he's gonna be supply blocked real soon. 77 out of 77. It's important he takes care of this. Only has a single pylon on the way. I'd love to see another one. It actually will line up pretty good, to be honest. Thought it was going to be worse. Can't produce any other units. He was building that Immortal for a while. He already started building that Immortal when he was 75 out of 77. So this Immortal could have been pretty much done, but we had to wait for the entirety of that pylon. At least there was non-stop worker production, but it's a bit of a shame that I feel like his build is ruined now. That was an unfortunate supply block. Serral doing a really good job in keeping things nice and tidy at home. He's got Hydras on the way. herO drops a double Revelation. Sees, I think, what he expects to see. Drones and Hydras. Space is trappy. He grabs a couple of the drones and a single queen. So on the other side of the map with his Zerglings, not able to get much done. herO denies that attempt of harassment. These oracles are so stuck. Serral is everywhere. That's -1 oracle. And if it will just be 1 oracle, we can honestly be very happy. That's not a good way to retreat, herO. Oh, he uses Pulsar Beam and he kills the Hydra, but he loses another oracle. I actually think he could have escaped through the bottom right. It's a really big deal, guys. herO has not done too much damage with his triple oracle. Serral has done a great job in always having queens in the right place, keeping track of the movement of these oracles. And herO losing 2 out of 3 without ever having that one moment of just going to town on a bunch of drones. That's a bit problematic. Five Dropalords. Serral is gonna play maybe similar to the way that X was playing. Ooh, we can go some Hydra drops as well. herO has now lost every single oracle. This right here is hell for the Protoss. Even when you have Storm, High Templars are incredibly good against Hydra Link, but High Templars are not good in getting into position. So the moment that Serral starts dropping the main base and is able to unload a nice mixture of Links and Hydras, it's going to be so damn difficult for herO to ever deal with that. And he won't see it coming because the man had 3 oracles and he just lost all 3 of them in the last 90 seconds. Like in a straight up fight, if everything comes from one angle, herO can actually do some good work with all these storms. But Serral's not going to play that game. Serral's going to try to pick herO apart here. And High Templars are so powerful but so slow. And if they're out of position, life is hell for the Protoss. I would love to see Serral use them. Right now Serral is showing a lot of respect to this army of 3 Immortals, a couple of Zealots and all the High Templars. Serral could really use like maybe a bit of a flank Tiny bit of a surround. herO does have a few more zealots coming in. Serral's having a tough time finding a way to engage this army. And this is obviously where the High Templar is, you know, at its best. Just being able to zone out armies, drop some devastating storms. herO casually gets a hatchery, drops a few more storms, and he's really doing a fantastic job in keeping Serral busy for a long time. Serral still has not managed to pound this around. Everything is coming from one angle. Finally, all the High Templars have been dealt with. But Serral's army is nowhere near as impressive anymore as it once upon a time was. herO has managed to make the High Templar shine bright like a diamond. And Serral probably can't believe what is happening. The man who just lost 3 oracles attacks with a couple of immortals, a few zealots, a lot of High Templars, just drops a never-ending wave of storms. And herO is now in a really good spot with +2 attack. Serral, wow. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, Blackrock is a map full of choke points. It is hard to maybe get beautiful surrounds. herO could use the could knock down those rocks if he wants to, and that's exactly what he does. One Hydra died. And here are the extra High Templars, and that's probably going to be it. Yeah, herO's down in supply, but he's going to warp in some zealots, and he can just drop zoning storms for days. All those dropper lords never came into play. herO kills another base, drops a few more storms, and these storms obviously last for a little while. They may not be, you know, full of that burst damage that they once upon a time had, but they are so good in zoning out armies. War Prism sitting pretty in the back. No storms remaining, but 4 immortals, an Archon, and a bunch of zealots. This should be good enough. herO's now thinking, man, how many bases do you have? Oh well, I guess I'll kill another one. Needs to use the War Prism to save those immortals, and that's exactly what he does. Wow, wow, wow. This is a surprising turn of events, guys. Yona perhaps showing us that he's human too. Damn. Supply is close, but the state of this game is no longer close. Like, Serral can no longer execute the strategy that he had in mind, that he was planning for. You know, he's knocked back to being a 3 base Zerg of 74 drones, but he does not have Hive Tech, does not have a Lurker then. This is an unfair fight. The supply does not lie often, but it does lie a little bit here. herO's in an absolutely amazing position. Serral was just not able to get a jump on that squad of High Templars. They'll snipe them. Oh no! All the Hydras are stuck! That rock tower got knocked down a while ago. Not a big fat storm, and that means that these Hydras can no longer attack here for a while, and that will do it. The Korean Protoss herO takes a 3-1 lead. Damn. That is surprising. Poor Yona. Looks tough. But let's not forget, guys, that even if Serral loses this best of 7, the score gets reset. The score will be 0-0, and we'll play a best of 3 for all the marbles. Because Serral has not lost yet in this tournament. He does look a little flustered after that one. Storm really good on Blackrock, obviously. It is important to mention that Serral took a lot of bases, spent a lot of money on stuff that never came into play in helping dealing with that army. I would have loved to see Serral almost just not defend that triangle base and immediately try to execute his plan, create some chaos, go here, there, everywhere. Because High Templars are so weak if they have to like move over by themselves or together with those Zealots and Archons, defending a natural, defending a mace, defending the third. That's I think the referee asking Serral if he wants to take a break or not. And Serral says, nah. Continue going. Well, High Templars shine brighter than anything. If they can just stand in one place and drop zoning storm after zoning storm. While the Archons, Zealots and Immortals make short work of anything that tries to come close to them. And difficult to get a surround on Blackrock. The man does not want to break. Well, this one definitely doesn't want to break. He is having a pretty freaking epic run. Let's not forget that this man started in the lower bracket. Played the first series of the day, a 4-0 victory over Classic. After that, a 4-1 victory over Maru. And now up 3-1 over the GOAT. This is herO. The most successful player of the year 2026 so far. In the top right side, the man could have taken a break, could have given himself some time to recollect his thoughts, but he said, nope, keep the show going. And we turn things around, representing BASILISK, it is Serral. What is the main event even, David? I have no idea. I don't follow it that closely anymore. I follow some of it, but not all. You know, Serral doesn't like playing at night. It's really not that late. It's 8:40 over in Paris. This has nothing to do with the time of the day. Of course, the conditions at the event seem to be very tough, but as someone mentioned earlier, it goes for everyone. It applied to Classic, it applied to Maru, it applied to herO, it applied to Serral. Of course, some people will be able to deal better with that than others, but I honestly think these are mostly free games. Serral looked pretty freaking good in game 1. I think there was some potential there for herO. Then we obviously had the Link Flood game, which is just a bit unfortunate. Went for something special, tried to get a strategic victory, it did not work out. And the last game honestly looked damn good for Serral. Oh, it's bait, buddy. I don't know what's bait, mate. I'm just trying to be nice, okay, and answer some of these questions. I don't know when you guys are baiting me or not. No proxy Stargate this time around for herO, but herO is going for the in-base Stargate. Serral has been hedge blocked, so he's been forced to take his natural at the 12 o'clock position. A little bit annoying, will obviously make your workers a tiny bit more exposed if they're being built from the main and they travel all the way towards the third. herO is obviously perhaps the best in the business. If he's not the best, he's one of the best. And finding those tiny windows where those workers are exposed and trying to pick some of them off. Circling speed is done. Serral is working with how many links? Sometimes I forget that I'm not in the game. This is already going to be a pretty important moment, guys. The Oracle is making its way over to the top side of the map. If herO wins this game, he wins the first series and the score gets reset, then obviously we will have a bit of a break. Serral knew that this aggression was coming after the hedge block and he's gonna lose 3 drones. It's not ideal, but it's also not the end of the world. It's just super important he doesn't take follow-up damage from this Oracle. But herO is just gonna send it. Sees 2 queens, does not care, kills 3 additional drones. Well, the Ricky rule would say that this one is over. The Ricky rule invented by sort of. You lose 5 drones before minute 5, it is done. You GG, you're on to the next. Obviously Serral's not going to do that in an offline event. Serral might get the Oracle here, does not quite get it. Good start for herO. As long as he keeps that Oracle alive, this is a very promising start for herO. And that means that our hero, Serral that is, I don't know. That was not even on purpose. It's hot for me as well. Is in trouble. The crowd favorite. The hometown favorite. The good news is, for all the Serral fans out there, even if Serral loses this best of 7, it is not over yet. There will be a best of 3 to play for the championship. He's got a very quick third base. He's got a Twilight Council, a fourth, couple of gateways, and double Oracle. I think herO's probe count is quite fine. Especially if he gets this queen as well. I mean, herO just has a good start here. herO has a good start. That's just the way it is. It's not over, but it is going to be difficult for Serral. I also think this has been a very frustrating best of 7 for Serral, where first game maybe not everything went perfect, but it just, you know, it kind of went okay. Second game was perhaps the start of, I don't want to call it tilt because Serral's so experienced. He's won it all. He's not tilted. But no matter how many years you played Starcraft 2, if you scout with a circling and you see 2 stalkers and that is it, and you're like, well, I guess I drone, because if I don't, I'm just gonna fall too far behind. And that's when all the adapts show up. You're like, oh, come on. I barely missed it by like 0.2 seconds. Yes. Then game 3, you're trying to cook up something magical with a link flood through a mineral wall. Meanwhile, you're playing against herO who's got 5 adapts and has never walled off in the first place. And it gave him some extra time to get ready, pump out more units. And then that last game, you gain some momentum, you kill 3 oracles, you're getting ready to go for some Hydra, Link, Drop a Lord gameplay. And then you just get stormed for half an hour straight. Being down 1-3 is never pleasant. But I think these have been particularly very frustrating games for Serral. But you'd be a fool to count him out. Never count out Yona. Queen gets picked off. Spore is going to get a couple of shots off. A single drone goes down. herO goes for a Zealot charge now, but this Zealot charge +1, fleet beacon, a little bit of everything. Serral once more with early Overlord speed. Let's not forget that we could still try to go for some Drop a Lord gameplay. Yeah, I think it's going to be a Mothership. Just Mothership, Zealot, Archon. A little bit of everything, some Tempest down the line. You know how herO cooks. Storm is done, right? Yeah. Serral making more and more Hydras. Missile attacks is on the way. 20 Hydras already. There are 4 High Templars out on the map. This map, though, is not as choky as Blackrock. So it's not going to be that easy for herO to run to the other side of the map with what felt like the tiniest army ever. 2 Immortals, couple Zealots, an Archon, and a few High Templars. And keep it protected forever. It will be more doable for Serral to potentially get a much better engagement and a flank. That is until the Mothership comes out. Once the Mothership comes out, it becomes almost impossible for Serral, his current composition, to do anything against herO. herO scouts with a Stalker, sees that there are at least a couple of forces here from Serral. Serral's got a Bailing Nest on the way, but it's very late, and it almost feels like he's going to attack with some slow Bailings, or just have a couple of slow Bailings in the mix to protect the Hydras from a gazillion Zealots. I'm not really feeling this for Serral, even though he's got more supply, but perhaps Yona can cook up something truly magical. He's right now trying to bait out all the storms. He's not truly revealing all of his units yet. He's like, hey herO, you should storm, you should storm, you should storm. And if there is a moment where herO does find himself completely out of storm energy, it could get difficult. But right now it feels like the Zealots are getting a really good fight on the right side. Serral needs to find a way to get his army back together. The Zealot count is really high. +2 is about to finish up for these Zealots. Nice focus fire on that Oracle. There might be another Oracle that gets picked off. So, I mean, but herO has 25 Zealots. He's got a Mothership. He's got a Tempest. herO, his Zealots are winning the fight against the Hydras of Serral. Serral could so desperately use a couple of those Bailings from that Bailing Nest that he was producing. On creep, a crazy amount of Hydras can sometimes do it, but this looks dicey. Now herO's army doesn't look like the most technical army of all time, to be fair. With the Mothership and Storm, it's almost impossible for a Lathac Zork army to deal with this. herO is a lot further along in the tech tree than Serral is. Serral needs magical Bailing connections with not just the High Templars at this point, but also with all these Zealots. herO sees a couple of the Morphing Zealots, drops a Storm on those Bailings. I said Morphing Zealots, oh, we meant Morphing Bailings. slow banelings. One of them does connect with the High Templars, but the other ones don't. And that means herO is in all sorts of trouble, and that will do it. GG. Wow. herO 4-1's Serral in Paris. Sorry, I'll keep it here. Damn. But that means we are not done yet. That means we're going to take a little break, and then there will be a best of 3 for all the marbles. Wait. Oh no, they didn't tell him? No. No. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Oh. Man, that's so sad though. Like, it's funny, I get it guys, but it's also really sad. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, it's not a... I mean, herO is a legend, and he's always nice and he's always kind, but it's also a bit sad. Because it's such an adrenaline dump if you think you've done it, if you think that it's over. Laugh it off, bro. Shit, it happens. I mean, I'm not causing any panic either. I just find it a bit sad. I don't know if you've ever competed in a video game tournament, but if you think it's done and then suddenly it's not done, it does kind of suck. I'm not bad in padel though, exquisite. I would say that I am quite decent in padel. I'm better in padel than I am in football. I'll say that much. But I can also improve in padel. I'm just very unathletic these days. Too many hours behind the PC, too many energy drinks, too many Big Macs. Not enough exercise. But I'll fight back. Prime Roddy by the time I turn 40. Let's do it! The best of 7 went in favor of the Korean Protoss, but we are running it back because he came from the lower bracket, his opponent came from the upper bracket, so the score gets reset to 0-0, and now it's a best of 3 for all the marbles. The prediction is still open for another minute. If you guys want to wager your channel points, go ahead. Here we go. Game 1 of the absolute grand final, the grandest of grand finals, Eternity's Edge. We are looking at the main base of T1's herO, the most successful player of 2026. We can safely say that. What a run it's been for him today. In the bottom right side, the man who was off to a good start, but definitely looked a little bit annoyed by how some of these games played out. But if anyone can keep together, it is obviously the GOAT of Starcraft 2, representing BASILISK, the Finnish Phenom. It is a Serral. I will keep my eye on chat, but I'll mostly be paying attention to the games. As I've said many times, I'm sure the heat is a lot worse for them than it is for me, but 11 hours in a very, very hot, stuffy room over here is also somewhat challenging. But I'll do my best to make Reynor proud and pay attention to the tiny details. Where is Reynor, by the way? How has Reynor not stopped by a single time today? He's rubbing his belly on an Italian beach somewhere, or what's happening? My desk is clean, yeah. I think it's mega hot in Florence as well. I actually looked it up and I think it was like 38 degrees in Florence, where Reynor is from. Probably not very pleasant for him to be inside. Better right now. Oh my god. 37, 38, 37, 37. That's crazy. Maybe he's waiting for Italy to make their appearance at the World Cup. Alright. Back to StarCraft, guys. Back to StarCraft. herO going for the 1 gate fast expand with a Stargate on the production tab. For Serral, the early game is going to be incredibly crucial. The last thing that Serral's ever looking for after a frustrating best of 7 is a frustrating start to this all-decisive best of 3. You don't want to lose 4 drones at minute 4. You don't want to see an Oracle drop a big stasis or win a battle against the queens where you lose the queens and you barely not get the oracle. The early game is going to be very, very, very crucial. Losing a Zergling is obviously acceptable. Losing Lings is not as bad as losing drones. You don't want to lose 4 Zerglings against a single adept. So far clean by herO. If either player wins this, it's the champ. This is no longer complicated, guys. If herO wins this best of 3, he can once more lift that trophy. If herO wins it, he can lift the trophy. herO, regardless of what's going to happen in this best of 3, we can truly say that this is another stunning performance by herO in 2026. The man came in, had to play Classic, one of the absolute best PvP players on the planet, in the lower bracket, tournament live on the line. So much pressure, right? You travel from Korea to Paris to play a single PvP, and that could be the end. Wins 4-0, then beats Maru 4-1, then beats herO 4-1. This is a freaking heroic run already by herO. But he's not there yet. And Double Oracle is going for its first flyby. herO had a spotting Overlord on the left side. Incredibly important for herO to get a bit of a heads up. But the Oracle still find a pretty nice angle of engagement. -3 drones immediately. And herO's not done yet. This is not the start that herO was looking for, guys. 4 drones against the first 2 Oracles. 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the game. herO with +1 melee as an opener and a very early Baneling nest. Minor advantage herO, that's for sure. Another drone went down, so it's 5 drones at this point. And on top of that, it's a picture perfect scout, of course, for herO. It's not just the 5 drones that he has found so far and the occasional Zergling, but it's not really worth mentioning. But knowing everything that herO has been up to is good. Bunch of adepts are shading out already. herO's gonna spot it now. There's one Zergling, guys, that just ran past that army, but I don't know if herO truly saw it. A single Zergling just went past the army. Please observe it. Show the adepts. I know it's very warm over in Paris, but the adepts are already on the other side of the map, and they are getting in range of the drones. Move! Please, move! Okay. Once again, guys, in the defense of whoever is observing, I think it's TKO is doing the observing. They've had a mega draining day in something that probably feels hotter than a sauna. So, yeah, the observing is not going to be top notch here. I wish I could change it for y'all, but I can't. Overall, big shout out to all the lads from Comeback TV for making this possible. It's been a lot of fun online. It's been obviously a lot of fun offline. I hope everyone that attends the event in real life also has a really good time. Right now you can see that the heat and the long day is taking its toll on the observing performance. It could be worse, guys. I was gonna throw some observers under the bus, but I don't want to do that. The observers are very sensitive. They don't like the banter. 5 gateways coming online. herO drops a revelation. He is down 15 workers, but he's got a pretty powerful army. herO is morphing 5 Banes. These Banes are very important once the Zealots show up. And we need Queens and Hydras to deal with these Archons. herO is going to temporarily evacuate this base. He's like, alright, Hatchery's got plenty of HP, but the drones do not. And I don't want to lose 15 drones here and then have to battle over a base. Lynx, Hydras, Banes, and a bunch of Queens. So far, so good, though, for herO. Storm is on the way for herO, but that's obviously not going to make its way to this side of the map for quite some time. Very, very good defense, I'd say. I know the real fight didn't really take place. herO seems to forget about one Archon. He is focused on a little adept shade into the natural, and he does get a couple of drones with it, and that's nice, but this is less impactful. Obviously 5 drones before minute 5 means a lot, because that's going to prevent herO from growing the way that he wants to grow. herO losing 5 drones when he's got 81 workers. Is it nice? No. is it worth losing an Archon for? I'd probably also say no. A couple of Adepts and an Archon for 5 drones is not a trade that I think I would take in this phase of the game. Mothership on the way. It seems like herO is going to play this at least somewhat defensive for a little while. The man just wants to get plenty of High Templars on the battlefield and get the Mothership out. Warps in a few Zealots in the bottom, but Serral's defense looking pretty freaking good. The start may not have been picture perfect, but the last 3 minutes have been very impressive on the side of Serral. Now there is a little opening here for the Zealots, but that also means that herO is potentially going to lose all these Zealots. And you have to be cautious that you don't throw too many units away as a Protoss, trying to kill a couple of drones in a certain phase in the game. War Prism, Serral still keeping a close eye on it, left plenty of Banes and Links behind. Really good defense here by Serral, guys. He's had an answer for everything, but does that mean he can also attack? I don't think we have Hive Tech on the way yet. Serral's gonna spot the stasis, he can kill it immediately. High Templars are a tiny bit out of position, but we should have plenty. I didn't even see that one. Where did it come from? Oh, it was next to the shield battery. I did not see. That's a lot of Baneling. Serral baits out a couple of storms. At least Serral wants to kill the Nexus here or wants to win a fight. But the Mothership is here. It's probably going to activate Cloaking. Banelings can still connect. Serral is looking for connections. Here come the Banelings. Serral gets each and every single High Templar. But there are still so many storms that Serral can't really stick around. But he did get all the High Templars there. Gets 10 probes. Does not get the Nexus. And herO does have double Stargate with a Fleet Beacon, of course, because the Mothership is out. Tempests are in production. Unfortunately, I think it's not quite good enough for Serral. Getting the High Templars is great, but not being able to completely reset the ground army, not great. Being behind attack-wise is not great. Like, Serral's Hive is going to be so much later than the Tempest production here of herO. But what Serral does still have is a nice army supply advantage. And we know that Serral can always make some magic happen with an army supply advantage. One of the Oracles got picked off there. That's a nice little pickup for Serral. Maybe a circling run by in the natural. Nope, herO pays attention. Warps in a few Zealots. Serral feels that he can maybe pick off one of these Archons here in the front, or try to take advantage of herO being out of position. As Serral has 2 large squads of units right now roaming the map, and it seems like he's going to try to make these armies sync up. The Banelings are being used on the Zealots. Can Serral get the Nexus? With the Banelings he should be able to get it. Serral does knock herO back to 3 bases. That is obviously a big victory for Serral. That's going to significantly slow down herO's economic growth in this game. And herO might just think, well, I don't need growth. I've got Archons, I've got Immortals, I've got Tempests, I've got a Mothership. He may just try to send it, but Serral does have Hive access now. Seismic Spines on the way, that's the Lurker range upgrade. I don't think Serral wants to take a game-deciding fight before the Lurkers with range are here. He's gonna try to buy some time with a tiny counterattack, but this is kind of it, guys. Game 1 here in the Grand Finals is gonna come down to the next 30 seconds. A few slow Lurkers, but even slow Lurkers will have a significant impact. I like the Spore as well. Serral's doing such a good job in going very deep, far back into his own natural before fighting. But herO's army is still so powerful. It is going to be close, it's going to be difficult. herO's got no economy, the Zerglings are cooking. But can Serral ever clean up these Archons, these Immortals and Big Mama? And it's going to have to be done by mostly Hydras, but Hydras in high numbers do cook though, guys. Hydras can most certainly cook. What a game, this is so freaking close. herO's down 50 supply, but Serral, if he bleeds out a couple of Hydras at a time, cannot clean up this army. herO cannot give Serral time. He knows that Serral's economy is way better, so this is kind of it for herO. herO needs to get on top of this army. He's got no more detection, right? herO has lost all of his detection. The Oracles have died. We don't have an Observer here, and that's so problematic because we've got Lurkers in the back, and herO cannot wait. No detection is terrible. A random Viper, Serral with a random Viper. You never see this, guys. This is something you only see after 8 hours in the sauna of Paris, but that's all good. It happens to everyone. Hydra launch goes down the ramp. Serral snipes the Mothership, and that may very well do it. herO has a War Prism, but still no Observer here. Bar Prism dies immediately, and it seems like the Finnish Phenom, the great Iona Sotala, is going to take the 1-0 lead here. This was a nail-bitingly close game, and it absolutely did not always look good for Serral. But it looks good enough in the end. And it's still a pretty powerful Protoss. I mean, we can't quite say that it's 100% over, but normally this should obviously always be fine. There is an Observer now, but there's no War Prism, no Mothership. herO getting a base, obviously nice. Serral uses Hydra Dash one more time, gets on top of the Archons, gets on top of the High Templars, gets every single Immortal, and with that, take the 1-0 lead in the Grand Finals. Wow, sick game, man. Whew. Sick game. Very, very tense. Actually makes me really happy for the tournament organizers and the live audience as well. Like, this was a tense game. It was quite difficult to call for the longest time. It looked damn bad for Serral at one point. It really did look damn bad. But he takes the 1-0 lead. So Hydra Dash, aka Hydra Launch, I believe is right now the official term, but when they introduced it to the game, it's called Dash. It's a high-tech upgrade that gives Hydras a temporary little speed boost. And I think if that upgrade can make it to the game, why not allow some of these upgrades that the American Terran player on his mod, Patches, is working with. Because Patches has a very, very, very fun mod of Starcraft 2. With crazy upgrades, but not necessarily game-breaking upgrades. And if Dash can make it in, why not some of these other great ideas? But that's a conversation for a different day. Right now the conversation will only be about the best of 3 Grand Final of the Maestros of the Game Season 2. Big shout out to everyone over at Comeback TV for being involved with this amazing tournament. Top right side, down 0-1, it's the once herO. Bottom left side, taking the 1-0 lead, but it definitely did not come easy. Had to fight hard for it, and I can most certainly guarantee you guys that a lot of the top tier Zergs out there would have said that game was hell for the Zerg. That's not a game that Zerg is supposed to win anymore, but he did it anyway. 1-0 lead for BASILISK Serral. I see the discussions in the chat according to the format, guys, and as I said, that is a discussion that's been going on for 15 years at this point. I'm definitely not in love with the format that they are using here. I almost think the 0-0 Grand Final, whatever, coming through the lower bracket, I think is already a disadvantage because you're playing another series with your tournament live on the line, and it can also be a bit draining, right? It requires a lot of focus. But I don't make the rules. I did not organize this tournament. I'm just here to enjoy it together with you guys. But that's the format that they chose. It might be superior though to the best of 7 into the best of 7 format that we have seen one time. that was probably my least favorite. As much as I enjoyed that tournament, best of 7 into another best of 7 is pushing it. Is there an industry standard for double elim? I would say if there is, and I don't think there is. I don't think you can universally say that we have agreed upon this. But if there is, it would be the 1-0 lead in a best of 7, right? I think the most common way for StarCraft tournaments to play out double elimination brackets is a 1-0 lead for whoever came through the upper bracket. I think that is the most common one, but once again, every tournament organizer can go in a different route if they want to. herO with the hedge block, forcing Serral to take his expand a little bit further away, which once more means that some of these drones are potentially going to be a bit more exposed. It also takes a little while longer for drones that are being produced from the main to make it all the way over to the natural, that is now no longer the natural. So it does slow Serral's economy down a little bit, but obviously it can slow hero's economy down too, because he grabbed one of his early props. And that way he hinders his own growth. And we take it from there. Take a little look. The runner-up of the Maestros of the game, guys, will still get $3,000. The winner of this best of 3 will walk away with $6,000. And obviously that beautiful trophy. Serral with a single Zergling gets a probe kill. That's a really good feeling. At the highest level, Reynor will tell you that it's all about the tiny details. And a tiny detail is most certainly a happy Zergling picking off a probe. It does not win you the game, but it does make you feel good. And StarCraft 2 is not all about your mechanics. It's also so important to be very strong mentally and be happy. Oracle activates Bo3 gets 2 drones but takes a lot of damage. That's acceptable for Serral. Third Nexus on the way for T1's herO. Played a stunning tournament no matter what happens here. Of course, same goes for Serral. Before that previous best of 7, Serral only dropped the 2 maps all the way to making it into the grand finals. Oracles are derping a tiny bit. That could have gone better for herO. herO in the end feels that he can win the fight against the Queen, but Pound CL Tempest, as Goblin called them a long time ago, strikes. And that's really good for Serral. Only ends up losing 1 drone. Yes, he does lose a Queen, but you'll gladly lose a Queen for an Oracle. I know that the Pound CL Tempest is a very obscene reference that I should probably not use too often, but the real Goblin OG fans out there will know. I think it was even printed on a t-shirt. I think I have a t-shirt with it. Yeah, I know you got it, Ytomo, but I think maybe 4 other people got it out of the 2,000 people that are listening. And they probably think that Roddy's having a seizure in the heat. Like, what is he talking about? A Pound CL Tempest? That makes no sense. Someone checking on Roddy. Who's got Vicky's number? Adepts Shade into the mineral patches. Serral loses 4 drones, but it does take care of all of these adepts. So it's somewhat even. I think hero's going to be happy with that, because the adepts without Resonating Glaive obviously start seriously falling off at one point when the armies grow. We had production bug again. Now double +1 melee on the way. Just ignore that, guys. Ooh, that's a lot of lost mining time. herO relentless with his harass gets another drone. A lot of lost mining time, and he gets... No, he does not get that one. Serral does manage to save that, and the Zerglings show up in time to save the other. This is kind of 2 adepts at a time, going on a little trippy, while herO is transitioning into Blinkstalkers with +1. Serral with the slow Baneling counter on the other side of the map. Observer caught it at the last second. Only gets 3 workers though. But this is so scary, by the way, guys, for herO. Let's not forget, herO lost an Oracle, and one of his other Oracles is low on HP. If herO, his Stalkers, gets surrounded by +1 melee Zerglings, that could be the end of this final almost immediately, if the Zergling count is high enough. For now, we have the Oracles here to protect these Stalkers. A very risky move out. herO's supply blocked, and it's quite a big one, right? A 93 out of 93. Serral's also sort of supply blocked, and sometimes when you supply block, you're like, alright, you know what? We may as well just start battling here. We use our Zerglings, we use our Queens. The link count is high. herO has to be so cautious with the Oracles. He's trying to drop 1 stasis at a time. There's 1 more stasis in the back, but that one did not get activated. Every single stasis got picked off. And this should be a good fight now for the Zerglings of Serral. Zerglings nibbling away. Great split. Fantastic split against that 1 stasis that was dropped in the middle of that fight. And this was... Whoa, he's moonwalking. Michael Jackson, the Oracle. He's back. That was sick. But that was a really good fight for Serral. More importantly than the gliding Oracle. That was really good by Serral. He's obviously not done yet, but he's got more Zerglings with +1 melee. A couple of Zealots show up, but oh, that's an awkward recall, because there are so many other Stalkers that are still potentially in trouble. Sure, there is an Oracle around that can activate Pulsar Beam, and the Oracles just scare the Zerglings away. But that's a hold and a half by Serral. Very well done. That was big, guys. That was really, really big for Serral. The sickest moment, I think, is when herO was dropping a stasis trap right on top of the Stalkers in the Zergling surround, and Serral split his Zerglings in 3 different directions and came back immediately to once more jump on top of these Stalkers. It was beautiful. Serral 1 map win away from still crowning himself Maestros of the Game, Season 2 champion. Mothership on the way for herO. Serral could very well go for some Dropaloid play. We never got to see it on Blackrock, but I do believe that was his intention. Hydra, Linkbane, maybe with a Creep Highway, maybe with some serious Dropaloid play, who knows. herO indeed needs to survive for a little while. He's gonna warp in cannons, he's gonna warp in batteries, he's waiting for that mothership to come out. And then you get an Observer, you get an Immortal, and you slowly take the game from there. Serral says, ain't nobody got time for that. He's gonna send it. Pedal to the metal. Toot 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 toot. Big Mama is out, but Big Mama cannot be everywhere at once. Is a carrier? I don't know how I feel about that for herO. A carrier would work kind of well if Serral decides to sit back for a little while, but the downside of carriers, guys, is that they're A, really expensive, B, they come out with no upgrades, and C, they occupy so many resources until they finally make it. I don't think this is a carrier moment at all for herO. What herO needed was way more storms, but I don't see a single High Templar here. herO's army is just not good enough to battle the Hydras, the Banelings. Is it once more Serral? Even in 2026, like herO's army can't not fight. He can clean up a couple of these left behind Hydras, but the Archons are dead. The Blink Stalkers are in trouble. We are going to recall them. That's very smart. Why is he not playing Storm? I don't get it. Like he just never... Oh, the herO's dead? It's a bit of an anticlimactic ending, but herO decided to go in a different direction here, and he's just going to make a couple of extra Archons. But there are so many Hydras. Can Big Mama just somehow tank all these Hydra shots, or is this it? Mothership is being attacked by a gazillion Hydras, and Big Mama goes down. Extra Banelings come in from the back. A couple of well-upgraded Zerglings are doing the thing. herO loses his 4th base, and herO's is working with scraps at this point. The 0-0 carrier has shown up, but what is that good for? Not a whole lot. Serral's got a Spire on the way as well, but he really does not have anything to fear of a carrier without any upgrades. Certainly not carriers in these underwhelming numbers. The Hydras get underneath the carrier. That's the end of the carrier. It's going to be the end of the Immortal, and honestly, it's the end of herO. GG gets called. BASILISK Serral does it again. 2-0 in the rematch here in the Grand Finals, and crowns himself Maestros of the Game Season 2 champion.
Oh my God. What just happened, Serral? What just happened? What did we live today? What a... This resets the, the first celebration, the second celebration. What a day of Starcraft 2. Congratulations, Yuna Sotala. Please, encore du bruit pour Serral.
That was such a weird final, though. Like that moment is gonna live in our dreams a little bit. herO thought they won. You knew that you'd have to play a little bit more. You had more like energy in the bank, in the tank, I guess. How would you explain how good he played in the first best of 7, and how were you able to come back in the next best of 3?
Yeah, it definitely felt like herO gave the first series his all, and that definitely showed. He played so well the first series there. But I don't know, I just kind of switched my playstyle up a little bit in the second series as well, going for the +1 melee and bailings, because he was playing so zealot heavy that my mass Hydra style was not really doing too well. So I just added bailings. I think the first game was again really hard because he was playing extremely well there. But yeah, I kind of managed to just steal that game a little bit, and I felt like the second game was pretty comfortable all the way through.
Il a tout dit, il a tout dit.
How important is it to be able to do better than what you did last year? Last year you were second next to Clem. This time you get the trophy. I see that it makes you happy, but can you tell us in your words how good it feels to win Maestros of the game?
It feels amazing. Last time I was a little bit short, but I think I played really well last time as well. And this is what I came for, and really happy to achieve it. I don't think I have won a trophy in a decent while, so it's a good feeling again, you know.
And obviously, congratulations for that. But any last words you want to say? Any shout outs to anybody? You have the floor. If you want to speak in Finnish, do whatever you want. You're the GOAT after all.
I don't think I'm gonna do any finish here, but thanks for everyone who came here. I think it was again one of the best events I have been in a couple of years, and it's just so loud here.
The people's champ. What a guy.
Want more?
I have more in my tank, so.
Give me more.
I also want to thank Basilisk, of course, for supporting me, and and yeah, just all my fans and everyone who has been supporting me. So big thanks to you guys.
Serral champion.
Moi, je pense qu'il faut pas oublier que cette journée, elle aurait pas été possible sans herO. Alors faites du bruit pour herO. Comme. Et puis il y a eu marou aujourd'hui quand même aussi à Paris. Ah ouais, ah ouais. On envoie une pensée à Classique qui est en train de kiffer Paris, je crois, hein, tout simplement.
Ouais.
Il s'est parti en balade, voilà.
Ils sont en balade donc.
Voilà, un gros bisou à Classique. Merci messieurs. Merci Serral.
Thank you so much for participating.
Tekel, tu veux dire un truc?
Non, juste vraiment merci. C'était un superbe événement. Vous avez été trop chaud. J'ai eu trop chaud.
I think TKL should do a short giveaway right now. Just take it off and throw it in the audience.
Ça fait très plaisir de pouvoir faire ce genre d'événement. On espère pouvoir en organiser prochainement.
Collector's edition.
On espère pouvoir retrouver ce parterre de joueurs et ce parterre de viewers, bien évidemment. Big up à vous!
Moi, par rapport à l'année dernière, je trouve que c'est passé trop vite comme journée.
Ouais, c'est fou. Hein.
J'ai l'impression qu'on a commencé il y a 2 heures. Mais bon, bref, toujours est-il que n'hésitez pas à suivre la Comeback TV et à vous connecter pour les prochains crowdfunding, parce qu'on aura besoin de vous. Ce genre d'événement, c'est pas possible sans vous. Et en vrai, nous, tant que vous êtes chaud, on en fait. Hein. C'est aussi simple que ça. Donc on espère se retrouver l'année prochaine pour le Maestro of the Game. On se retrouve déjà la semaine prochaine pour la Home Story Cup. Bah ouais, et puis après, il y aura un été de chill et il y aura du Starcraft en français, c'est sûr. On vous embrasse. Merci à tous. Merci à Serral. Merci à herO, à Marou, à Classique. Et on vous dit à la prochaine.
GG guys. It may not have been a perfect day, but the passion was overwhelming and it showed and it was flowing, it was visible. Big shout out to the lads over at Comeback TV. Of course, congratulations to Serral for another W. Glad to see that it meant a lot to him as well. I also feel a little bit sad for herO. I'm conflicted. I'm really happy that Serral won. We're always rooting for Serral victories, but it is sad to see a guy thinks that he won and then he didn't win yet. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. But outside of that, and outside of maybe the lack of a Korean translator, I think it was a really cool day. Would have been fun to have even more close series. No 4Ls. Would have been nice to have a few more air conditioning units, but you know, just details. In the end of the day, we had an amazing day of Starcraft. These guys poured literally blood, sweat, and tears into making all of this happen. Big shout out to the community, of course, as well, because a lot of you guys, maybe that are even listening right now, have donated to make this event possible. So a lot of highs and obviously some pointers and room for improvement, but I think it was a lot of fun.